We've talked about this every week, but you're really starting to see it sort of show up again. So a few weeks ago, we absolutely saw the dump of chips during an entire week of trade. 4 days of trading. This is MU. I'm using MU as sort of a proxy for chip stocks. You can just see the absolute dumping of it. I mean, it went from 1,000 down to like 700 something. I mean, this was like a 20+% drop. And simultaneously, like almost minute by minute, wowza. So this is Apple, and I'm going to use Apple as the proxy for the hyperscalers. Apple's not really a hyperscaler. Microsoft is, Meta is, Amazon is. But because, it's just such a strong name, you can see it's doing the same thing. And so this move here, you go from 320 to 360, whatever that is, right? Quite the move. But then there are times when they'll go down together or they'll go up together. You'll just see sort of like a mess and a mess. And typically, like if you were to look right here at this little slice of time, the markets, I guarantee you, are probably moving lower because giant industries, you're talking about the giant hyperscaler stocks and the chip market that have been rotating in and out of each other, going down at the same time. That's really bad news. When they go up together, that's why you got last week. Remember last week's crazy move to the upside of the Qs? Everybody remember that? Boom. Look at this. Boom. Going up together. You see that? Some of you have never seen anything like this in your lives. Now what you're seeing is, again, dump, gap down dump, Tuesday dump, today continuation dump. That is Apple. Apple heading lower, trading below its daily 50 and dumping the last 3 days. But what you're also seeing here is a rise here, even though it's sold off the end of the day. You're seeing a rise in chips. So you are rotating. And when you rotate, what happens? The Qs go up. What happens when the Qs go up? SPY usually goes, those are my boys. And so SPY goes up too. So the markets will drift higher. And they will continue to drift higher until there is another incident, piece of news, catalyst, war, or bombs or whatever that will, be kind of crash into this. So there's a few narratives happening at the same time. So here we have hyperscaler, and chip rotation. And so as long as it continues to rotate back and forth between these two, a few things happen. Okay? A few things happen. Number one, Qs move higher. Number two, software gets beat to shit. Why would you buy software when the hardware companies are just rotating back and forth? So software gets beat, but Qs go up. Qs go up, that means SPY goes up. That means overall markets go up when you have this narrative / scenario. Everybody clear about this so far? If you're clear so far, put a Y just so I know that you guys are getting this. This is what's moving the markets, guys. Don't listen to the news. This is not a technical market. Oh, it's hitting the 50. It'll do this. No. This is what moves it right now, these major narratives. And then the mechanical rotation out of one into the other. That's mechanical. That's not technical. This is not a technical move right here. This is a mechanism that triggers. Algos out of the money, triggers the market maker, retailers get in, the shorts buy back to cover, they buy out of the money calls, market maker gets squeezed. So you have the mechanical moves. This has nothing to do with fundamental, like, this great earnings and good report and lots of sales and healthy companies. No, that would be fundamentals. No, no, no. Technicals would be, oh, you just clipped the recent swing high. Now we're in a breakout. Bollinger Bands are opening. Breakout. Drop below the 200. Didn't get saved there. Well, going down. Short it. That's a technical market. This is not a fundamental market. This is not a technical market. This is an irrational, mechanical market that is driven by several narratives. Yes, there's enough money to sustain. They will not run out of money. Nope. They'll just continue to go, continue to go, continue to go. Yes, that was earnings. Investors didn't like their guidance going forward, and whatever else happened. And it's been struggling ever since. So you have this narrative. That's one narrative. The next narrative is oil. Now, oil has a big impact on the inflation numbers. And so this gets reflected in the yields, 10-year, 2-year. I like looking at the 10 because there's an actual chart of it, and you can trade it, the TNX.X. You can trade that index. They don't have one for the 2-year. They have futures for the 2-year, but they don't have options for it. So oil, when oil drifts lower because there's a deal, that brings yields down. Why? Because if oil is coming down, that means energy costs are down. If energy costs are down, that will help bring inflation down. If inflation goes down, then more and more foreign investors, U.S. investors, will want to buy our bonds. Why wouldn't you if the economy is doing well? When the bonds prices go higher, yields go lower. When yields go lower, it triggers algorithms to buy equities, right? Why would that happen? Well, if you were a company that needed to borrow money to expand, if you needed to borrow money to build homes, if you were a home builder, if you needed money to build out a new factory, expand, or if you were not making any money and you needed to borrow money in order to keep your business going, don't you need interest rates to be lower? And if they were higher, isn't that detrimental to your bottom line? Doesn't that hurt your company? If that hurts your company, don't you think there's people out there that would trade against your company knowing that? Yeah, they're called investment analysts that know that. If that happens, if this narrative happens, the yellow happens, then you've got rate hike in September. Investors right now are saying, no, there won't be. Why? Because oil has been coming down a little bit. Why has oil been coming down a little bit? Because the administration has been signaling that they're talking instead of bombing. Well, they're full of shit. The only reason they're giving you narratives about talking is to bring down the price of oil.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.